Happy New Year. Here's your first market update of the year. December wrapped up a slower end to 2025 across North and West Vancouver, so let's break down what changed and where there's a little bit more traction in the market. Starting with North Vancouver detached, it was a quiet December. There were 25 sales coming in 48% below the 10-year average, the lowest sales volume of any month since early 2023 for the segment. Inventory stayed elevated with active listings up 11.6% from the 10-year, and even as new listings dipped slightly. That pushed months of inventory MOI up to 8.9, a buyer's market. There was only one sale at or above asking for detached homes, and the typical home sits at just over $2,040,000, down 4.2% year over year. For North Van condos, there was a little bit more momentum. There were 72 sales, just 2.4% below the 10-year average. This is the closest any month got to that sales 10-year average figure. Inventory was still elevated and was down 27% from the 10-year average, making it the 8th straight month of improvement. MOI dropped to 3.4, the lowest of the year, and nearly 19% of sales went at or above asking. That being said, prices are still down 2.6% year over year, and there seems to be more value-driven opportunities in the market. For North Van townhomes, they finished stronger. After a weak November, sales rebounded to 23 for the month, landing slightly below the 10-year average. Inventory remained elevated, but demand improved enough to push MOI down to 3.7, the lowest level for the segment in 2025. This has been the most stable North Van segment all year, and 21% of sales still went at or above asking. Shifting to West Vancouver detached, December was soft. With just 16 sales, activity was 43% below the 10-year average. Inventory remained elevated, and MOI jumped to 24.5 homes listed per sale, the highest we've seen all year. There were no sales at or above asking, and the typical detached home sits at $3,070,000, down 7.2% year over year. Moving over to condos, they cooled after a strong November. Sales dropped sharply, coming in 49% below the 10-year average, and MOI rose to 12.7, keeping the segment in a buyer's market. With low transaction volumes, monthly swings can look dramatic here, so we'll need a few more months of data to determine whether this is a trend or just an outlier month. Overall, buyers remain cautious heading into 2026, but we're seeing pockets of stronger absorption in North Vancouver with condos and townhomes. Sellers who priced at current conditions are still seeing success, while buyers willing to act more selectively are finding more negotiating room. So if you have any questions about the market or your segment in general, please don't hesitate to reach out.